Welcome back, students. Today we are going to start with the next topic of your chapter number 2, that is circular flow of income or money. Basically, in this topic, we will study about the main three activities which are unending or they used to flow or move in a circle continuously. The main three activities which never stop in an economy are the production of goods and services, second one is the income generation, and the third one is the expenditure in an economy. Basically, these three activities comprises of the circular flow of income. From the name itself is clear that how the income flows in a circular motion in an economy. It helps to know the functioning of an economy. From this circular flow of income, we will come to know about how an economy functions. Before starting with this model, you must know about the assumptions of this model. After that, we will do the detailed explanation. In this model, we used to assume that there are only two sectors in the economy, and those two sectors are household and the producer sector, where household sector is the consuming sector and producer sector is the producing or firm sector. Next assumption is that the household spend their entire income so that there are no savings, which means that the income which the people are earning, they are spending the whole income or they are not saving any part of their income. The third assumption is that the domestic economy is a closed economy, which means that as I have already told you that there are two types of economies. One is the closed economy and another one is the open economy. In closed economy, we do not consider the exports and imports of various goods and services, or you can say the transactions which one country transacts with the rest of the world. Mainly these activities includes the exports and imports. So we are not considering the exports and imports of various goods and services in this circular model. The last assumption is that no government in domestic economy, which means we are not considering the government sector also in studying this circular flow of income. Therefore, we will study only the relation between the household and the producer sector, and we are assuming that the household sectors are not doing any kind of saving from their income. They are spending their entire or whole income on the purchase of some goods and services, and there is no relation with the rest of the world, as well as no government sector is involved in this model. Now here comes the three phases of the circular flow, which will help you understand that what is circular flow of income model. There are basically three phases. The first one is the phase of production. In this phase, the income is generated by the producers in the form of value addition. Then comes the second phase, that is known as phase of income generation or distribution, in which the income generated in the first phase is distributed in the second phase to the factors of production. And the last phase is that of the phase of expenditure or disposition of income. That is, the income which is distributed or generated is then disposed of by the consumers, and then again this expenditure becomes the demand for the producers, because of which the producers again start producing various goods and services, and like this circle moves on and is unending in nature. That is why the circular flow is known as an unending process in which these three activities never stop. Now comes the first phase of this model, that is the production phase. Now in this phase, the producers will do the value addition, and as you know, the formula for value addition is value of output minus intermediate cost. Basically, it means that when the output is generated by the producers, when they subtract the cost of production from that value of output, what they will get is the value addition. So in the production phase, value addition will be done by the producers, through which the firms produce goods and services with the help of factor services. Now here comes the question, what do you mean by factor services? These are the factors of production which we have studied in the previous video. Basically there are 4 factors of production, that is land, labor, capital and entrepreneur. So by using these factor services, the firms used to produce goods and services. Next is the production for satisfaction of human wants. By using these factors of production, the production is done by the producers with the motive of satisfaction of the human wants, and this production activity is an unending activity as the demand is generated in a continuous manner, as we have studied in the assumption also that the consumers do not save any part of their income, because of which the producers have to carry on this production activity in an unending manner. The second phase is the income phase, which is also known as distribution of income phase. Now, what kind of activities are involved in the second phase, that is the income phase? Firstly, the value addition is converted into factor income. The value which is added by the producers, they will convert it into the factor income by distributing that value addition to the factors of production in the form of rent, interest, wages and profits. So in this phase, the factor income will flow from firms to the households, because the value which is added by the firms is distributed among the households who were providing the factor services to the producer sector. So in return of that, they will be provided with the rent, that is for land rent will be given, for capital interest will be given, for labor wages will be given, and for the entrepreneurs profit will be given. So this is the income phase. And the last one is the phase of expenditure, also known as the disposition of income. That is how we are going to spend our given income. In this phase, the income received is spent on the goods and services produced by firms, as we have assumed that the household sector will not save any part of their income, so they will spend the income received on the various goods and services which are further produced by the firms. So this is how the 3 phases are interrelated, or you can say that how this flow is unending, that is when the producers will produce various goods and services, by using the factors of production, they will further distribute the income generated to the household sector. Then again the household sector will spend the given income in the third phase, because of which the demand will be generated again, and the producers have to produce more and more goods and services. Then again the income will be generated and will be distributed among the factors of production. Then the same process will move on, and therefore there is non-stop flow of production of goods and services, generation of income and the disposition of income. Or we can also say that each flow keeps chasing the other flow. So this was all about the circular flow model. Now we will see that what are the observations of this model, or what conclusions can be drawn from this model. The first one is that the production or value addition is equal to the income generated. As we know, the income which was generated will be given to the household sector in the form of income generation or the factor payments. Then that income will be further spent by the household sector on the goods and services. Then again the production activity will go on, and then the same activity will move on in an unending manner. So this is also known as triple identity, because these 3 phases are equal to each other. The amount of income generated is further distributed among the factors of production, and then the same income which was generated will be spent by the household sector on the goods and services. Now next observation is that factor payments by the firms is equal to the value addition by firms. As we know that the value addition which will be generated by the firms will be distributed by the producers or the firms to the household sector in the form of factor payments. Thus, we can say that value addition is converted to the factor incomes. The third observation is that the income generated is converted to the expenditure on goods and services. Because no part of the income is saved by the consumers, they will spend whole of their income in purchasing some goods and services, because of which again the producer sector or the firms have to do the production activity. Therefore, total production by the firms is equal to the total expenditure by the households. So this was all about the observations or the conclusions which we have drawn from this model. The last topic of this chapter is that what is the significance of this model? The model which we have studied, that is the circular flow model. What is its importance or significance? The first point of importance is that estimation of national income. When we will study the circular flow of model, we will come to know about that how we can estimate the national income, because we know that national income is the summation of the total factor incomes which is received by the households from the producer sector. So therefore, we will come to know about the national income, or we can estimate the value of the national income by using this model. Basically, national income can be calculated by the three methods, that is the value added method, income method and the expenditure method. And these three methods we have studied in the circular flow model, because of which we can estimate the value of the national income very much easily, which we will study in your chapter number 4. The next point of significance is that knowledge of intersectoral interdependence, which means that from this model we will come to know about how the different sectors are interdependent on each other. As in this model we have studied that how household sectors are dependent on the producer sector for the factor payments, or you can say for the goods and services, and how producer sector is dependent on the household sector for the factor services or for the payments of the goods and services which is given by the household sector to the producer sector. So this was all about your chapter number 2, that was some basic concepts of the macroeconomics. I hope that every one of you is clear with this chapter. Thank you so much.